the roads are awful if you're headed out to go to work. I'm Walt Gray.
And I'm Jordan Tolbert. That is right, and that is why we have an ABC 10 weather impact alert day today. So, Rob, we were tracking it all morning long before the show. We were seeing ponding on the road, spin-outs out there, and this is actually video from this morning in downtown Sacramento. So people just need to drive extra slow today.
And for the early storms, there's one extra addition, and you saw it there moving along when the tires hit that pond.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of leaves, and so we're going to talk to Candace Red more about that part of the storm because there's multi facets to this system. Now, we've got another one that is also very impactful on Saturday because it's on a weekend, just ahead of a holiday. But the two storms this week are both alert days because of how it affects you. And the amounts are pretty solid. We're looking at a quarter to more than an inch of rain and 4 to 12 inches of snow. That's just out of this one, by the way. We've got another round on Saturday, similar numbers, but more of the heavier stuff is in the middle of the day. A lot of the heavier stuff has already happened or is winding down. Now, here in Sacramento, we've got one cell right on top of the building that's making it very loud, and that's right here. But I would say within 15, 20 minutes, that's going to move along, and there really isn't much left after that for a few hours. Then we're going to be looking at more light rain later on this afternoon. It is snowing hard in the Sierra. I mean, look at that. It is lit up. The snow level's coming down early this morning, down about 5,000 feet. Steady, and I would say moments where it's going to linger and produce at least flurries to about 4,000 feet or so. But this main band, I kept calling it a middle of the night storm because it started right around midnight. Most of it's moved through already, and then the back half of this is actually going to be a clearing stage where we're going to see the sun for a little bit, and then we've got more this afternoon, but much, much lighter. Temperatures are in the 40s this morning with the 30s up high. The lower visibility in this area here is not related to fog. It's related to heavy snow and blowing snow. So that's one of the extra cautions when you're driving in the Sierra. You've got chain controls, you've got active snow falling, and you've got slick roads, and the visibility is just really low at the moment as well. So that's another thing to think about. We eventually make it to the 50s. This is a cold storm, not a warm one, and we've got some more time left on the clock this morning before we get into this zone right here between 9 and 11, and then some more light rain pushing through. This is going to be going on for a while. Just this morning, I added in this for some light rain coming back tomorrow on and off through the day, but then another round of more steady, heavier rain through the day on Saturday with more snow in the Sierra with some clearing on Sunday. By the way, we've got another round coming in on Monday. So for more on the surface street issues, because this still is considered leaf season, we've got some cautions and some extra things to think about on the surface streets. So for more on that, let's go ahead and talk to Candace Red. Candace, what was interesting to me is that we talked to you last time, there was no rain, but guess what? It's back now, and you still got to talk about the conditions out there.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. So when we first started early in the morning show around that 5 a.m. hour, there was some light rain, not too bad. Then we popped up around that 5:30 hour, no rain at all. Now here we are at the top of the 6 a.m. and it's pouring at this point. I had to bring out the umbrella. So seems to be an on again, off again situation. But again, we are coming to you live. This is within the Sacramento's Midtown neighborhood. That's because we're talking about the wet roads and yes, those wet leaves. We know that Sacramento is called the city of trees for a reason. They have more than 1 million trees within the city, and when it comes to all those trees, that means more leaves falling as well. And when it's raining outside, wet leaves on the road can be as slippery as ice. That's coming straight from the National Highway Safety Administration. They say wet leaves can make it difficult for tires to find traction, resulting in a vehicle skidding. Now, some people in Sacramento say they've experienced those sorts of dangers, whether it's driving or even riding a bike. Take a listen.
Man, every turn you slide out, and you gotta be careful in anything on wheels, even with cars. I've gotten in car accidents just because all the crazy leaves around.
We've had a really good season so far. We've made 4 rounds so far with our claw crews, and they're working on their 5th round. They'll go through all of the neighborhoods systematically.
All right, well, you just heard from a spokesperson with the city of Sacramento. She was just basically explaining how crews are still doing their job using that claw to clear the leaves on the road. But again, it's still a good idea to make sure that you are playing it safe. That means if you do plan on hitting the roads, no speeding, no distracted driving, and of course, maintain some good driving distance between you and other vehicles. Coming back out to you live again, it is pouring. So These are just some conditions that you can expect if you're headed out this morning. One more last tip before we go. You also want to make sure that you actually clean your vehicle off. Remove all of those fallen leaves off of your car. It will help keep you and everybody else safe on the road. In Sacramento, Candace Red, ABC 10.
Yeah, great tips there, Candace. And also, you know, it's like when you see the claw, it's kind of a celebrity sighting through the Sacramento area. And I was checking out the City of Sacramento website. Looks like they have a SacRecycle collection calendar and an app, so you can get like an estimate to see when they'll clear those leaves out and then making the road safer for all. So, all right. Thank you, Candace Red in Sacramento. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic. So obviously, Candace was talking about leaves on your local side streets, how that can impact traffic. This morning, we are seeing ponding, we're seeing the snow in the high country. So several factors at play this morning as you head out the door on your commute. Let's start in the high country. This is Highway 50 at Myers this morning. Slow moving traffic through there as we see chain controls along Highway 50, Interstate 80, Highway 4, and 88. You can see we do have our typical slow moving traffic over the Yolo Causeway today. We do have a couple crashes. This one is a spin out westbound Highway 50 in Zinfandel Drive. This is in the Rancho Cordova area this morning, so watch out for that if you live along Highway 50. Southbound 5 at Matthews Road, we still have really slow moving traffic as you make your way from Stockton south on I-5, maybe toward Lathrop this morning. And then northbound 99 is slow moving early today. Northbound 99 at Lathrop Road, we have a crash, and we did have an earlier crash in the Ripon area. So like I said, there are chain controls in the high country. We also have a couple of different crashes, spin outs, issues with cars being stuck in the snow. So eastbound 80 at Rainbow Road, that is one of those locations. Tracy to Livermore, we are at over an hour now on 580 West.